Hey guys, stoked to announce that Revelation Records will be sponsoring the next 5 podcasts, 5 episodes with Revelation Records. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for the amazing soundtrack of my youth. Revelation Records has put out some of the most classic hardcore records in history. Some of the most iconic photos by BJ Pappas are on most of those albums. And most of my friends' bands have put records on Revelation Records. A lot of hardcore history. And I'm super stoked that they're part of the One Life One Chance podcast for the next 5 episodes. The ad is coming up next, and it's fucking loud, and it's awesome.
Hey, this is Sam Sumataro. I sing for a band called Drain from Santa Cruz, California. I'm here to tell you about our debut record called California Cursed, now available on Revelation Records. This summer, we're going on tour with Go to RevelationRecords.com for more. And here's 4 seconds of what we sound like. I'm stoked to be part of the Revelation family. Let's take the remaining 26 seconds to dive into what it means and what's up at Rev. Revelation kicked things off in New York City in 1987 with Warzone, Lower East Side Crew. After that, Gorilla Biscuits, Youth of Today, Judge, Inside Out, Chain of Strength, and many more. The times changed in the early 90s, and Rev was there, with artists like Quicksand, Texas Is the Reason, Farside, and Into Another. There's new music from World Be Free, Constant Elevation, Urban Sprawl, Dare, and reissues of the classics from Inside Out, Side by Side, and Orange 9mm. Check out the Spotify playlist series. It's all at RevelationRecords.com.
Yeah, part 2. How are you, bud?
I'm good.
I'm doing good.
Listening to the One Life, One Chance podcast.
You are?
With the Dick Cavett of hardcore, Toby Morse.
Welcome
Today,
to
Toby is talking with one of the pioneers. Some would say the person to blame for the DC softcore sound. Yours truly, Peter Cortner.
I love this.
What's going on, buddy?
I'm just printing labels in my office all day. Like, we just ordered food online, like through this app called Instacart, and it's weird. The guy's actually shopping for us now, and he's chatting with us like, hey, they don't have this, they don't have that. You want to replace this? You want to replace that? It's really weird, and it's only 2 blocks away, but we tried to order food, but it wouldn't be delivered till next week. So
Wow.
It's great. And then the mayor said today on the news that everybody should wear masks because now they're finding out the stuff might travel just through the air. So who knows? But they're saying everybody must wear a mask outside.
Man. Do you have masks?
We wore bandanas and stuff. Although actually they said wear cloth on your face and leave the professional mask to the professionals who actually really need it.
Right. That makes sense.
But Max went to the post office with Moon's pink rubber dishwashing gloves and a gas mask on. He looked like a total psycho.
That is crazy. The whole thing is crazy.
It's just crazy to be outside now. I haven't got a house in days. I went to the post office, we dropped stuff off, and then we ordered this food. But, like, we have, like, a nice backyard, so we might do a little sprints tonight or something. Just go in the backyard and chill, get some vitamin D, because that's really good for your immune system.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I got out briefly today. Madonna never got a chance to go out, which is a drag, and it's already getting dark here.
Yeah.
So
how was it in the streets?
We'll try again tomorrow.
How was it outside today?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather-wise, it was gorgeous. A little on the cold side this morning, but still pretty nice. And you know, the people who I saw out and about all seemed, you know, very positive. They were few and far between, but
yeah,
you know, people say hello. You know, it was okay. And I went to my local grocery store, small place, and they let in, you know, 25 people at a time. So there was a little bit of a wait to get in, but not a big deal.
Are people separated 6 feet apart outside?
Outside, yeah. And everybody's joking about trying to figure out the etiquette of when you're on the sidewalk, like who should go and abandon the sidewalk and walk in the street or cross the street.
Is everybody wearing masks?
Give the right away.
Are they wearing masks and gloves?
Not that many. Not that many, but definitely more now than I saw even a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Like many more people.
Do you wear a mask or no?
No. I should get one though.
Mm-hmm. They're hard to come by.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot on the black. I'm sure there's a bunch of people selling online like for crazy money, which is really insane.
Man, I should have never gotten rid of my gorilla outfit. You know, I could have just worn that.
Well, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, I forgot when I got off the phone last night, was since I'm going to be married for 24 years in May, and you've been together way longer than that. What do you think the key is to a long marriage, especially being a musician? So she was with you before music, after music, and now back with music.
I think there's two things I can point to that just in any kind of relationship you gotta just keep in mind. And the first is have a really good bullshit detector for both yourself and the person you're with.
Yeah.
So that you can always be just real with each other.
I like that.
And the other thing is, no matter what the situation is, be tender.
I like that too.
Just step outside of what's going on and remember, this is the person you love. You have your own faults that this person is willing to deal with. Feel some gratitude and do it in return.
Yeah, I agree, man.
You know, and if you just take care of those two things, I think the rest just kind of falls in place. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy. It's definitely not easy for Madonna. I can be a very difficult person to be in a relationship with, but.
That says a lot about that says a lot about her, and also like the love, how real it is, and friendship, everything.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten to the point in my life where marriage is one of those things where it's like you either totally commit to it or you just don't. Just step away from it. But there can't be any gray area there. And I know there's a lot of reasons why there would be.
Yeah.
I know it's very easy for that to happen. It's just got to be a choice. Yeah. And for me, the key to that is be aware that there are going to be times when your partner needs you to accept them unconditionally, no questions asked. And because I recognize in myself the times when I've needed that from her.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be willing to do it in return.
Yeah, I love
It'll
that.
probably never happen. Probably never happen because, she's not that kind of person. But if it ever came down to it, that's how it would be.
No, I love that. I also feel like friendship's important too. Like me and my wife were we were really good friends before anything else, So that was a good foundation,
And it shows. I mean, I can tell that when I see the two of you together, even if you're just like passing each other in a room, I can see it, and it's remarkable and it's wonderful.
Thank you, man. Yeah,
we're a couple of lucky guys.
We are, man.
Very, very lucky guys.
We are, because relationships, like you said, like it's, and then throw a kid into the mix, and that's just another level too of insanity. So yeah. Did you ever want to be a dad?
Yes, but I tell you, the thing for me was always, as I got older, I really questioned whether I would be a good dad. Like I was just really aware of how many things I've started in my life with emotional enthusiasm, but no real idea of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of great parents out there who didn't really know what they were doing when they got into it, but they rose to the challenge.
Totally.
But this particular thing, I'm not sure where I would be with that.
Mm-hmm. It's not for everybody.
So
yeah,
it definitely isn't. I'm a hell of an uncle.
That's great.
But that's about as far as it goes.
That's good though. We need good
Oh
uncles.
yeah. For sure.
My other question was, where did the name Field Day come from?
Oh, that came from Brian actually.
Okay.
When we were thinking up a name, Brian was like, I think it should be Field Day. Just from the point of view of that's kind of what we were having when we did the record.
Gotcha.
And it's funny. Doug and I talk about that sometimes because we all come from different backgrounds in terms of like the high schools we went to.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me that I thought I had an idea of like, oh, when Brian talks about what a field day is, I know what that is because I know from my school.
Mm-hmm.
And later I was talking with people about that, and they were like, no, I don't know if you necessarily had the same kind of field day. So I don't know. Maybe I'll talk with him about it one day.
Yeah. Having a field day. I remember that expression for sure.
Yeah.
And then what was Denko's?
Yeah. Oh, it's Denko's. Okay. So there was a friend of mine from high school, and his name was Hal. And Hal and I, in fact, were, Hal was the guy I was sharing a microphone with in the first band I was ever in, which was Body Count, which Hal ended up becoming the singer for. And I've got to get you some of that stuff.
Hear that,
It's amazing. But every now and then, Hal would show up at my house in Silver Spring and just walk up to like the window where my bedroom was, and say, "Come on, let's go, let's get in the car, let's go do something." And I'd be like, "What do you have in mind?" He's like, "Come on, let's go on down to Denko's and wig out." Like, okay. So Denko's, there was a dude named Denko who lived near, I think, kind of like near DuPont Circle.
Yeah.
And I never really knew him, but he was just this guy who, it seemed like every night there was a party at his house.
Gotcha.
So you'd show up and you might never see him, but you'd see a whole lot of other people.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the source of all that. But the twist in that song was the idea that we're going to go there, and even though it's a big party, we're just going to like stick to Coke and Doritos and not partake of whatever else was there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the Hal that was spilling malt liquor on his minor threat sticker, huh?
Exactly right. Exactly right. Which I should ask him sometime if people ever ask him about that, does he say, "Oh yeah, I did that"?
Yeah.
Because if he does, then I'll say yes, he definitely did that. I didn't just make that up.
Yeah, I think that lyric was like, for me when I first heard it, I was like, it was just hearing that, I was like, no, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. For back then, it just sounds like, in hip-hop, that would be like a hip-hop diss. But I know it wasn't. I know because everybody's friends. But like, it just seemed like just the way it rhymed, it flowed, and then it was just so random. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I was just reading into it when I was a kid.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because I'll tell you something about that song that I thought was kind of funny, which was Ian MacKay's reaction to it. So Ian produced that record. So we were recording all of that with him. And while I was recording my vocals for that song, he stopped me and he's like, "Dude, the TV is inside, the TV is outside. What the fuck, man? What does that even mean?" So, and I see him, on the other side of the booth. He's behind the glass, and so I said to him, and the tape is still rolling, by the way.
Oh wow!
Like, it's simple, Ian. I am God. You are God. Believe in me, and you will live 1,000 years.
That you said to him?
He didn't ask me any questions after that.
Oh my God, man!
He was just like, okay. And funny thing, it's not on the CD or the vinyl, but if you have the first pressing of the cassette,
wow,
of Without Denko's, it's on there at really, really, really low volume.
Really?
Right at the start of the record, just before The Godfather starts.
What, him saying that?
No, me saying that to him.
Oh wow, man!
It's right on there, man. It's simple, Ian. I am God. You're God. Believe in me, and you will live 1,000 years.
That is incredible, man. That's a real gem right here. I didn't even knew that. Wow.
It's nuts.
And so when you did them on the My Threat sticker, he thought that was interesting too, or no?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. I'll tell you something funny about that, about the My Threat sticker thing, which was, before I got involved with punk at all, one of the bands I was really into was Rush.
Gotcha.
And even to this day, like, it kind of bums me out how much Ian, like, really weirdly hates on Rush.
Okay.
Because you know him. I mean, he's super open-minded. He's into every kind of music.
Yeah.
But, so when we were recording Without, I was going to ask him about the lyrics to Minor Threat, because I was so into Rush when I was younger, and I'm like, why is he putting the band down? And Brian said to me, absolutely do not ask Ian about Rush.
That's crazy. I didn't realize it was such an issue. Yeah.
But it's like, people, what a big deal that song is.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody ever talks about that line, man. Why is everybody so fucking into Rush? Like, I don't know, man.
Wow, dude. Yeah, nobody even talks about that. That's a great point. Wow.
One of these days I'll ask him about it.
That's another gem right there. I didn't even thought about that. Damn, man, that's awesome. You said yesterday you had some questions you written down too, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, so we were talking about a couple of things that I thought about after we talked, and one was we were talking about changing lyrics, and I was telling you that there were lyrics, like, back in the old days that I changed. Values here, like the rap and what now. I did a different thing to Never Go Back, but I was telling you, like, now I won't do that.
Yeah.
But I thought of an exception, and that is, so there's a song on Field Day called Typical, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't know how he feels about it, but this guy I'm going to tell you about, he's my hero. So the second show we played is Field Day. We were playing at the Crossroads in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And this guy there told me this story about how that song, Typical, inspired him to leave this message for his girlfriend with lyrics from the song.
Wow.
And so he described it to me, and he said, so it was one day, it was foggy, it was raining really lightly, and apparently he found his girlfriend's car. I'm not sure where his girlfriend was, if she was, like, working, she was inside a store or whatever, but she wasn't in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So he said the fog had left this mist on her windshield. And so he took his finger and wrote on the windshield in this mist, "The rain looks so good on you."
Yes.
And I said to him, Andy, and that's not his real name, of course. I'm changing the name to protect the innocent. But but he's a great guy and a great promoter too. But anyway, I said, Andy, those aren't the words I was singing. Those aren't the words to the song, but they're totally the words now, because I thought his lyrics were a lot better than mine. And I was like, do you mind if I put that in the song now? And he's like, serious? Oh man, that would be cool. So those are the only lyrics I changed, because his version was so much better than mine.
Yeah, you think lyrics you've been singing your whole life to, or bands, and then maybe one day you look at the lyrics and think, damn, I've been singing it wrong the whole time. My wife does that all the time with punk songs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I was going to ask you something else too yesterday too. I think I might ask Doug that, where the name Dag Nasty came from, because obviously that was before he got in the band. But it was, what else I saw too? Wig out is like bug out. Wig out's like the New York term for we're bugging out.
Oh
yeah, we're wigging out.
Yeah, sure.
Huh.
Sure. Yeah, it was the same kind of thing. Well, actually, I take that back, because now I'm thinking, do I really know what bug out means? So what does it mean if you bug out?
Well, it's like, I'm going to bug out at Denko's. I'm going to wig out. I'm going to go wild. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to wig out. I'm going to get crazy.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So I think, if I remember correctly, how we were using it at the time, and this might have just been my understanding of how it was saying, but if you were wigging out, it was your reaction to something that just kind of blew your mind.
Okay.
So it's like, I wigged out when I saw so-and-so doing whatever.
I wigged out, yeah.
That was kind of what it was. So it's which, now that I think about it, kind of fits in with how I would have acted at something like that anyway, because I'm definitely more the type who's observing, rather than participating, especially now. So I would be there just to watch people and wig out on what they were doing.
Well, I also have a lyric correction for you, because my mind's been kind of spinning since you just said that Ian mentions Rush in that song, but he doesn't. I was like, he doesn't. He says, the time is so little, the time belongs to us. Why is everybody in such a fucking rush?
He's not saying, why is everybody so fucking into Rush?
I just thought it was insane for 3 minutes, because I know that song.
I've been wrong about that all this time?
Yeah, listen, so I thought I was crazy for a second. I'm like, that song doesn't mention the band Rush.
I'm glad you said something.
And so I just thought about it, and I just been going through my mind for 2 seconds, and I'm like, now you had the lyrics. So you were like the guy who had the lyrics wrong in New Jersey.
Dude, you just saved me.
We're not the first. I hope we're not the last, because I know we're all heading for an adult crash. The time is so little. The time belongs to us. Why is everybody in such a fucking rush? And I know this because I've sang this song a couple times with Gorilla Biscuits in the past couple years. But when you said that, I'm like, is he talking about the same song? And then I'm like, I just started thinking about it. So yeah, man, you had it wrong too.
Man, see, so this is one of the problems. Now, I wear glasses, right?
Yes.
Well, I've had to wear glasses since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I was one of those teenagers who's like, no, I'm not going to wear glasses. They don't look cool.
Yeah.
So maybe I should have.
Milo looks cool.
Read lyric sheets.
You look good in glasses. I've seen you in glasses.
Awesome in glasses.
Yeah, you look good.
You look awesome. But yeah, man, I could never read lyric sheets. Oh man, I'm glad I know.
Meanwhile, you think that song was dissing Rush.
Maybe that's why Brian was telling me, don't ask him about Rush. Because Brian's probably like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, because now it's like, you're like, why would Ian even mention another band in the song back then, or even diss like a rock band? I was like, you just had me going crazy for a second in my mind. I'm like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. That's why wow, man. Okay. Well, now we both learned something today.
Yeah. Maybe I should tell him about it. Maybe he'll change the words.
At this point. So, I've been...
Because it has a nice ring to it. Why is everybody so fucking into Rush?
Listen, imagine if that's really the words. You should ask him that one day. Like, I've been telling him, I thought you hated Rush so bad my whole life, and I just found out. Oh, my God, that's so funny, man. So I guess when we read lyric
Sorry,
sheets back
Ian.
then, it's all good.
I had you wrong. Dude. Sorry.
You had it pegged all along.
I won't. Yeah.
Were you ever,
Right,
were you ever
exactly.
a big Minor Threat fan? I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. I was telling you about how when I was in high school, this friend of mine's older brother, he was the guy who was like, you kids, you think you're into punk. You haven't heard this stuff. And he would play this stuff. And right when I think their second EP came out, like he showed up and played it for us. And it was the first time I had heard him. And I was just like, whoa, this is insane. No, not what am I saying? The second one? No, it was the first one. It was the first one, and it just blew my mind. Like, oh my God, this is absolutely great. And I would sit and stare at that cover, like, look at this dude, man. He's really intense. And it was like total hero worship. Like,
Totally, man.
Wow, this guy is a badass.
And those records,
I still, man, it's an amazing record. I still get chills when I hear it.
me too. And it sounds great still. It like stood the test of time. Like it's like
does.
it's insane. It still sounds great. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
What about Fugazi? You a Fugazi fan too?
Fugazi is a band it took me a longer time to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these days I'm going to have to take like a much deeper dive into it. But, their first two records I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got to this point where, like I was telling you, I wasn't listening to a lot of music.
Yeah.
I was more listening to just a lot of
parking lot sounds, all that.
Yeah, parking lot sounds and stuff like that. And really just, I don't know, man, when Dag Nasty ended for a while, I was just like, maybe music isn't really my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I still wanted to hear stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just not necessarily the same kind of stuff I was listening to before.
Maybe now's the time when you're on lockdown, quarantine.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'd probably end up being like, oh my God, why didn't I get into this band before?
Was Madonna into hardcore too? Is that how you guys met?
Oh yeah. When she and I first met, I remember meeting her and talking about Boycott Stab.
Yeah,
that had just come out.
Incredible.
And yeah. I mean, she's. I mean, there are times where we're driving around and she's just like, dude, we need to listen to some hardcore. The other night she's like, we're going to listen to some Swedish hardcore tonight. I'm
Refused?
like, okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Older.
Oh, Baton. I forgot their name. I know exactly what she's talking about. Abananda? Something. I don't know.
No, this band was called something like the Shit Biscuits or something like this. I forget what they were called. It was some crazy name, but they were awesome.
Yeah.
They were absolutely awesome. Like super, super good stuff.
That's cool.
Super good stuff. But yeah, in fact, the first time I ever saw Madonna, which was before she and I ever actually talked, was at the Minor Threat show in D.C. with the go-go band Troublesome.
Holy shit!
So yeah, she was
Damn.
out in Prince George's County, like just getting into punk.
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah. She's definitely into it. So I mean, she's known me through every band that I've been in, and she really, like, when I had doubts about doing Field Day, she was like, no, you absolutely have to do this. Like,
that's awesome, man.
Have you returned Doug's call yet? You need to call up Doug. You need to do this. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's a good girl. It's cool. It's awesome. Were you ever a Madonna fan? Musically, the Madonna?
Oh, well, so that's a funny thing. No, I wasn't. And in fact, I remember like there was something I was doing when I was still like doing work, doing legal work, and I was doing like this document review for some case, and this guy was just talking about, you know, Madonna's body of work and you know, how talented she is. And I was just like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. So I carried that wrong idea in my head for a really long time. And then I found out that you did a cover. And Madonna found out. And Madonna found out that you did a cover. So then she played this song for me. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, I remember now. It's a song that she does that samples the song by ABBA.
Like a Prayer?
I think that's probably it.
Yeah, that's what we cover, yeah.
Which is the one that you cover.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, okay, you've been dogging on Madonna all this time. Listen to this song. And I listened to it, and I was like, oh, my God. Like, this is really, really good. This is really, really good. So it's like, oh, good. Now I've got somebody else I can listen to, you know, because I've got this whole body of work I can jump into.
So the H2O Madonna cover was the first kind of Madonna song you listened to that you liked?
Yeah. And then that took me to listening to her version. I was just like, oh, shit. I love this.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I have a Madonna portrait on my arm. I'm like a massive fan. When I was growing up, I was a massive fan before I found my moon. But I had like a shrine in my bedroom and got to meet Madonna like a couple times and ended up in a Madonna coffee book. Like I have a hardcover copy book. There's a half page of me in there wearing a Madball shirt at CBGB's, and it's a whole thing how I met Madonna at CBGB's, and then I met her twice after that, and it was pretty surreal. I never seen.
Oh God, that's awesome.
Yeah, I never seen her after that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I never seen her after that. A friend of mine plays guitar for her for like 10 years, and I was going to go see her play recently, but I was out of town. But it'd be cool to meet her again. But I met her 3 times and then ended up in her book, and that was pretty. After that, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
That is crazy, but that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome, and it makes sense. I mean, that's one of the things that is great about her, but it's also really great about you and great about H2O. It's like these are not separate worlds at all. And, you know, I remember thinking when I was in Dag that, oh man, the punk world is just too narrow-minded. But, you know, who was I to say that? Because I probably still carry a lot of that narrow-mindedness. And somebody like you just completely know better. Like, you see where it's all connected, and it's all joyous, and it's all positive.
Thank you, man.
You know?
Yeah,
and that is so cool.
Yeah, I always loved Madonna. I always like pop music. My band, you know, grew up loving U2 and all that stuff, and I think that we're never afraid that people know we love that. And so many people would tease us and make fun of us, like, oh, these guys are like a boy band. They're not a hardcore band because we like other music, but like we always loved other music.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I remember when I think I was in 11th grade when Boy came out, and I remember the first time I heard "I Will Follow" on the radio. I was just like, "What is this?" Like, I've never heard anything that sounds like this.
So good, man.
Crazy about it.
I loved U2 so much, man.
So here's the crazy thing. So, have you ever, like, especially when you were younger, and I'm going to bet the answer to this is no, but did you ever lie about being in a band?
When I was younger?
Like, yeah.
No.
Like, did you ever say, oh yeah.
No.
So I remember, like, some guy I was talking to was talking about this. Like, you know, remember back when you would want to impress a girl, so you would say you were in a band, and I was like, oh shit, I thought I was the only person who ever did that. And And so that made me, when you mentioned U2, that made me think of it, because when I was like, I think the first time I ever like lied about that and tried to convince somebody I was in a band, I was probably in junior high school, and so I would be like, talking to some girl over the phone, and I would say, "Oh yeah, you should hear my band." And I remember I would say, I play guitar for this band, and I would play like a cut off of some like weird Todd Rundgren record I had, or like part of a Blue Oyster Cult record, or Rush.
Okay.
But the first time I ever lied and said, "Oh yeah, I sing for a band," the band I played over the phone was U2.
No fucking way.
Back then, you could still find people who would not know what it was.
Wow.
Because only record that was out was Boy, and I was like, "Oh, this will impress them, man. This will impress them."
So you played the girl the music over the phone?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah. Something. It was probably like Out of Control.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I was like, yeah, man, that's me.
That is so funny, man. I didn't really know about U2 until I listened to 7 Seconds, and when Kevin had grown his hair out, because I was just like punk rock, and hip hop. And then when those guys started changing their style and growing the hair out and thanking U2 on the liner notes and like wearing U2 shirts, I was like, who the fuck's U2? And they're the ones that got me to really open my mind to stuff like that, because I don't know, I just never really, and that was never on my like radar. And then they got me to definitely be into that stuff. But I mean, they were pretty punk too when they first came out. I know, and also Bono was like really good friends with Joey. He was at his bedside when he passed away. Like he was a really good friend with the Ramones and stuff. Like he was connected to that world still, even no matter how massive he was. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's pretty interesting, that whole connection of even Madonna. Dude, Madonna was like hanging down Lower East Side. She was part of the whole downtown scene. Like she was, I don't know. She was kind of in the mix too,
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. Like you could have all of these different styles, and a trap I fell into as a kid was this idea that if you were into one kind of music, it sort of automatically meant that you weren't going to be into another kind of music.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
And it was so stupid.
Yeah.
Like I remember being in high school and begrudgingly going to see the B-52s.
Yeah.
With this girl that I was going out with at the time, and I was like, oh man, they're just stupid. They're like just some new wave band, man. They're not punk at all. And later I was like, what was wrong with me, man? I love the B-52s.
Yeah, they're great.
I love them, and I could have had such a good time at the show. And I'm like, no. What's wrong with all these posers here? What an idiot.
You were so set in your ways. Yeah.
Idiot.
Did you ever like hip hop at all growing up or no?
So yeah, and like it's funny because when I was telling you that I got to this point where I wasn't really listening to much music at all.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was listening to though, and this was thanks to this friend of mine, Damon, who would just like send me tapes of stuff. I got really into the Beastie Boys.
Nice.
When Paul's Boutique came out.
Amazing record, man.
And unbelievable. I mean, that's one of the greatest records ever.
Yeah, that's my favorite Beasties record.
That record, yeah. And that record just got me into the whole like idea of what you can do with samples as like a sound collage. And whether it's as music or whether it's just something really, really out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful stuff.
I think those guys made it like they made it right before people started getting sued, because they have like one of the most samples on one album ever supposedly, and I think they made it right at the cutoff before people started getting crazy lawsuits for using samples. That's what I heard, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, it must have been right. Yeah, I mean, over the years, like every now and then, someone will put together like their own like unofficial compilation of all the music that they sampled.
Yeah, I've heard that
for
before.
That record.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like a ton of stuff.
Think about how much tedious work they had to do to find that, and make it and everything they use fits so perfectly, and just all that work behind it, like putting it all together, and how they even know that shit was gonna work and fit. It's just so perfect, man. It's crazy, man.
Well, it's funny. So we were talking about having an experience where you're in the studio recording and you end up getting just burned out by the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm sure that record was a lot of work, but I can't believe for a second that they weren't loving every single second of it.
Yeah, and like
it's just the artistry of it, and everything that they would find. It was like the rush of finding something like even more obscure that fits in just perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like they're sampling Black Flag.
Yeah,
it's just amazing.
Yeah, there's so much good shit in there. I'm trying to think what else I was going to ask you. One more thing to ask you too. You have any more of your notes there? I know. I'm going to hit you later and go, you know what? Let's keep it going. Let's just talk tomorrow too in the quarantine.
Right. Oh, you were asking me about bands I was in, and you mentioned Los Vampiros, which was not so much a band, but it was just me getting together with Colin from Dag Nasty.
Yeah.
After Dag Nasty broke up,
mm-hmm.
Actually, both times Dag Nasty broke up, because the first time we did it was between the Can I Say tour with the Descendants and Wig Out.
Gotcha.
The first Los Vampiros stuff we recorded was when Doug and Brian were doing Dog Eat Rock.
Okay.
But then after the band broke up after Field Day, we got together again and recorded a bunch more stuff, and it's kind of cool. And there's a chance that I've been talking with this guy who's interested in taking all that stuff and putting it out again.
Oh wow!
So we'll see what happens with that.
Oh wow!
But I was also did this thing a lot later called the Gerunds.
Okay.
And that was something that started in, 2001, 2002, with just me and this buddy of mine named Hunter Bennett. And Hunter had lived in Philadelphia, but he was getting ready to move down to D.C. To start a job down there. And he gave me a portable 8-track recorder and a bunch of wave files of stuff that he'd been working on.
Gotcha.
And he was just like, do whatever you want with it. So it was just him playing guitar, him playing bass, sometimes like playing the theremin.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, you can cut it up, you can slice it, dice it, you can do whatever you want with it. And so he and I just did that for like a bunch of years.
Yeah.
And then Donna was at some point, saying to me, you need to like actually like get a band together. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I'm not really into doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But sometimes other people would contribute to the Gerunds, like Steve Hanskin from Minor Threat. He mixed us doing a cover of Sailing On.
Oh wow!
And he got Brian to put a solo on it, which was kind of cool.
I'd love to hear that. That's cool.
Stefan from the Descendants played drums on one song. Wow. Like he was just like, yeah, send me a file and I'll do drums. But then I think in 2008, I went to see a couple of my friends. They had formed a band and they were playing their first show. And I was watching them. And I'm like, God, these guys are really, really good, and they're having a really good time. And I think after they played, I think that night I was like, I want to hijack you guys. I want you to be my band. And they were like, yeah, okay.
Oh wow.
And so we started like we took all of these songs that I'd done with Hunter, and we started playing them live. And we did that from 2009 to I think 2013.
Nice.
And it's actually it's on Spotify.
Okay.
Like you can find it. Stuff I did. Most of it is the stuff that I did with Hunter. So it's just the bedroom tapes kind of stuff. But there's also stuff with the full band. And
Cool.
I used to say what we did was like Naked Ray Gun meets Joy Division fighting the B-52s while Scott Walker is watching.
I like Moon would like that too. That's Moon's favorite band is Naked Ray Gun. That'd be awesome.
God,
I want to hear
Naked
this.
Ray Gun.
What a
trust me, it's not that much like Naked Ray Gun. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But it's in there. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah,
it's in there somewhere.
What an underrated band. What an incredible band, Naked Ray Gun. My wife turned me on to them a long time ago.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember telling Doug when we got back together and we were talking about the kind of music we were going to do, and two of the bands I said right away that I was like, you got to listen to these bands, Naked Ray Gun and Peg Boy.
Peg Boy's great too. Strong Reaction. Oh my God,
Peg
man.
Boy. Amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was so much great melodies, great songwriting.
Yeah.
I think the record's called
Yeah,
Cha Cha
awesome.
Cha or something. I don't know. Those are amazing songs, though, man.
Yeah, that's right. Cha de Moan.
Yes.
Cha de Moan. Yeah, and Earwig. You ever hear The Bomb?
Mm-mm.
So The Bomb is Jeff Pizzotti from Naked Ray Gun. It's this band that he did after Naked Ray Gun.
Okay.
And one thing you got to hear is, remember that band Flock of Seagulls?
Yeah.
So they had that song, Space Age Love Song.
Okay.
You got to hear The Bomb doing that, and Jeff Pizzotti singing it.
My wife probably knows this shit too, man. I gotta look this up, man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because she's got the whole Chicago connection, right?
She's from Chicago. Yeah, that's all of her stuff she grew up on.
Yeah,
she
she'll
loves
hook
that.
you up. She'll hook you up. And they play the song totally straight. Like they're not joking around. They're not doing it for irony. You can tell, like, they love the song, and it sounds really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, Peg Boy is like, dude. I think they're kind of overrated too, man. Underrated. I'm sorry, yeah, underrated.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear Verbal Assault like them?
Oh yeah. We got to play with Verbal Assault a couple of times.
Yeah, I remember those.
They were amazing.
I know, man. Great guitars.
And
Everything about them.
like talk about a band that needs a reunion.
Yeah, man. That would be incredible. It'd be. I would be there. I don't care where it is. Yeah, for sure. That'd be amazing, man. Great lyrics, just everything about them, the sound, the lyrics, everything, man, about that band would just.
Yeah.
Such an incredible guitar
sound. They were just on another level. They were on another level entirely.
Well, shit, man. I think we covered a lot of shit, man. I'm trying to think of some more stuff right now. On my wall, I have this. I don't know if you've seen it before. I have like these frames of like all my favorite albums. I took all the old CD covers a long time ago, and I had them dry mounted together as this collages. And I have 4 huge frames in my office, and it's got all my favorite albums in all of them. And I'm looking at the Dag Nasty right now. The Dag Nasty right now is in between Brand Nubian, Fishbone, Minor Threat, Lost Boys, Faith No More, Sex Pistols, and Vanessa Carlton. Just randomly, I'm gonna send you a picture, but I have this inspiration in my office.
You got to, man.
Yeah, I got my inspiration in my office.
I tell you, man, it's unbelievable to me to have done something that someone would put in that company. I mean, and it feels really good.
Yeah, man.
It feels really good to hear something like that, man.
Of course. And sometimes I talk to some other people who are in bands who like, when you try to give them like, I guess props or like thank them and stuff, they don't really see it like that. And sometimes when you're in it, or even when you're out of it, like you made that record so many years ago, but through all the generations of different people coming into music and hearing that record, and then obviously you're back and you're playing those songs again, you don't realize the impact it had on people because you're in it at that moment. You're playing the songs, you wrote the songs, you're on tour, and then you go home and whatever you're doing off tour, you're like back to normal life. And sometimes I've questioned it many times in my life, like, what have I really done? Okay, I put these records out, we play these shows, I have fun playing the shows, meet so many great people. So, and it's not, I don't know if it's like an insecure thing, or I don't know what it is. It's just, you don't realize, sometimes you feel like, what did I do? Okay, it's just a record. It's just some songs you wrote. It's just, and you know it had an impact, but until you meet somebody face to face, or somebody sends you a letter, or they reach out to you, like, this is what you did for that music, you're like, holy shit, I made a difference. But sometimes it's hard when you're in your own world and you're just living your life, you know what I mean? You're not on stage, you're not touring. So you had many years in between playing those songs and putting that record out, and becoming like, you know, a grown man. And then you come back and it's like, when you meet people, like, holy shit, like, that record touched me. It feels good. It feels good to know you put something out there that actually had an effect, you know?
It does feel good. And it's made me, like, understand even more about how, whenever you do any kind of music, if you know, especially if you're recording it, especially if you're making it available to people, once you do that, even though you can think of those songs as like a part of you, once other people get it, it's theirs.
Yeah.
And they do with it whatever they want. And you can't predict it, nor really should you. Mm-hmm. And when I meet people now and they're talking about their experience, like the age they were when they heard it, what they were doing with their life, you know, what relationship they were in, or what kind of journey they were on, it's just like, what a trip to have done something that became a part of somebody else's life. Mm-hmm. But everything that they tell me about it, you know, when they say to me, oh, you know, you had this impact, it's like, not really. Because everything you're telling me about what happened with this is actually something you did. Mm-hmm. You, the person who's telling me. Yeah. It's like if I meet somebody from a band and they say, you know, Dag Nasty is a band that inspired me. These lyrics that you wrote inspired me. I just think, well, what's really happening is, you know, I'm just this barren soil. But you are that tough seed that can survive anything that grew out of it. So, like, you are the product. You are the thing that's amazing. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just something in the ground. Mm. You know, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. People can take just the smallest thing and hear in it something huge. But the thing that they're hearing, man, it's all them. It's in their head. It's in their ears. They're the ones who make it wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because you make it, you record it, you put it out, and you go on with your day. It's not like you listen. Like, I can never listen to our records. I go back, let's listen to my record, but you put it out, and then it goes out there, and then whatever happens, and you go on tour, and people know it or they don't like it, and you just play it. But then there's some people like read every lyric and like memorize the lyrics and can't wait to see you play it live and have this connection to every single song, and it affects them in a way, and I think that's so amazing and beautiful about music, and the fact that it stays with you your whole life. Because I don't remember what was on the radio, you know, the day Wig Out came out or the year it came out or where I was, but I know that record front to back. I don't know it was I don't know the popular song on the radio during that time. I know this record that I listened to every day and like stuck with me forever, and I can still listen to it and have these memories of where I was at that time and how old I was and what I was doing and who I was hanging out with and how I looked and all that. I don't know. There's something so I'm not going to take away from other types of music, but there's something so powerful and real about punk rock and hardcore that stays with you fucking forever, man. I don't know. It's embedded in our soul. Or I don't know. It's something so special. At least, I don't know. Like, you have those memories of going to see that band play and being in the crowd and just, I don't know. It's so different than going to like a big rock concert where there's a massive barricade and the band is untouchable.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's such a different connection. Obviously, I probably like some of the music on the radio back then, but I know the We Got record from that year and how old I was, and I don't know. It's just something about the music, and it's so special because it wasn't the whole world wasn't listening to Dag Nasty, and it wasn't listening to the punk bands we listened to. It was something that we had. It was so special because it wasn't for everyone, but it was for us and our friends, and we really connected to it. And it wasn't something that was on the radio or on television at that time. You know, I don't know.
Right.
I don't
right.
know.
Yeah, it was like your own secret thing. You know. Yeah, I remember having that feeling, and loving it. Being in situations where you're like, wow, you know, the song that's running through my head right now, nobody else here knows what that song is.
Yeah.
You know, unless you were with your friends or you were at a show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, the rest of the world doesn't know this at all.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even if I take even if I take Straight Edge, like that song, like, okay, I'm a punk rock kid. I'm a skateboarder. I'm fucking 12 years old. My brothers are smoking and drinking in the house. They're partying around me. I don't want to do it. I see how it affects them. But I like this punk music, and I can skate to it. Not really sure what the Bollocks is. And then I hear this band, Minor Threat, and then there's a song that talks about how it made me feel like I could still be cool and still be myself and not have to do what my peers are doing around me and still be punk and still be myself. And that's something that nobody was talking about or singing about on the radio or anywhere around me at that time. And it caught me at that time in my life where I was scared of it. I saw my mom was chain smoking, drinking, just whatever. And I'm this kid who loves this music. And then I hear this song and I'm like, holy shit, I'm not alone. And then that just fucking just stuck with me my whole life. And it's just something in this music that I don't know where else would I got that from any other genre of music would tell me that I could be cool and not have to fucking do drugs or alcohol. I don't know. There's nobody singing about that shit, you know? Could I have listened to something else my brothers got me into and I could have been all fucked up? I don't know. Oh, my dad died and my mom's working jobs. I should go get fucked up. But I just, right. It's weird, man. I don't know. It's the path that came from that and where I am now. And it just stuck with me. I don't know. And then my whole life I was like, fuck it. This is, I can just be myself. I don't have to feel like I have to be like my brothers or be like other people around me. You know, I would go to keg parties with my brothers and hang out, but I don't know, man. Maybe it's not as deep as that, but just the powerful impact of it, I guess I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad that happened because, dude, you know, I don't know you that well, but somehow I imagine like if you had ever taken any kind of drugs, you know, wings would have sprung out of your back, and you probably would have just flown out into space. Like you're already too much of a package, man. You're already dynamite. you don't need that added to it. You would have turned into fucking Dr. Manhattan or something. You would have been like,
I was so hyper as it was, man. Oh my God, man. I would have fucking exploded. You're so funny, man. Then when I got to New York and dudes were like partying, drinking 40s, doing cocaine, smoking weed all around me. And I was the only straight edge kids hanging out in New York with all these dudes. I had so much fun being the sober guy, carrying the boombox, playing like the hip hop cassettes, just hanging out. Just like, I loved it. And they loved me for who I was. And they never tried to pressure me to do anything and all that. I got more peer pressure, obviously, in high school. But like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I was definitely a fucking spaz, man. I've always been a spaz. I've always been high on life, man. Skateboarding was my first, like, natural high that I've ever felt was skateboarding and doing tricks. And I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, getting those endorphins going.
Totally.
For sure. Yeah, and that's the thing, too, because that way you got to really experience what was going on. Mm-hmm. And not just what was going on with you, but, like, you saw what was happening with everybody else.
Yeah.
There's so many. I think about my own experience. There's so many times where I'm like, what I remember about it is just how fucked up I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, do I remember a great moment from the show? Do I remember what a couple other people were doing that was really great? No. I just remember I was fucked up. You know?
Yeah.
I'm glad to be done with that.
Yeah, are you sober now, or were you a sober guy? Or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nothing. It's been, I think 9 years.
That's awesome, man.
9 years, and yeah, I would never go back. I was glad to stop.
Yeah.
Like, I was really glad to stop. You know.
9 years is great. That's huge, man. That's amazing.
Was
that the first time you ever quit, or did you quit before then?
It was. No, it wasn't the first time. It wasn't the first time, but it was the first time that. It was the first time that I let important people in my life know that it was something that I had to do.
Yeah.
That it was like serious. It's like, look, I got a problem with this, and I have to stop now. I can't be any fucking around with it.
Yeah.
It's just got to stop. And having people around that understood that and supported that, that's what made the difference.
Yeah, that's really important to have a good support system, especially Madonna, man. She holds you down, man. She's been through all different versions of you. The highs, the lows, everything. She needs an award. We have to get her an award soon.
Seriously. We're actually going to have. So we celebrate 2 anniversaries. Okay. We celebrate our wedding anniversary, which is in October, but coming up on the 6th is the anniversary of the day that we met.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
And I can't wait. I can't wait.
So it's
I got plenty of time on my hands.
You know, it's April 6th. I know. It's April 6th. What year?
It was 1984.
Damn, man. Shoot.
April 6th, 1984. Yep. And I remember I was hanging out with Hal.
Nice.
Hal came by my house and said, come on, we're going to go out. I was in a really bad mood because I had just like ended my serious high school relationship. Mm-hmm. And so we were just walking around saying, who do we hate? Girls. Who do we hate? Girls. And so we go downtown and we're in DuPont Circle and we're hanging outside this club called Whispers. Mm-hmm. And this cab pulls up and these 3 girls get out. And one of them I just lock eyes with. And I can't believe it because she's looking back at me and she's smiling. And she says to me, are you going inside to this club? And I said, nope. And then she and her friends went inside. And Hal looked at me and he said, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go in there. And to this day, every time I see Hal, I'm like, man, Hal, I would not be where I am today if you hadn't told me.
That's amazing, man.
Don't be a fool, man. Go inside. Talk to this girl.
Right, those moments, man.
She ended up being my whole life.
Those moments, man. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
They all connect together, man. It's pretty amazing, man. Well, I'm happy for you, man. You've had amazing relationship, a long relationship too, and I love that. I love my friends who have long relationships and been through, especially guys in bands and stuff too, because there's like a lot of stereotypes about musicians and having girlfriends and all that. And I had my wife. She was my girlfriend before I was in H2O and been with me ever since, and was on tour with me for like 10 years selling merch. So that was a great time in my life before Max was born. She got to travel with me and stuff. Max was conceived on tour. Moon was pregnant on tour, didn't tell anybody. We announced it at CBGB's. It was pretty amazing. On stage, she surprised my band.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was cool, man. So yeah, I'm very lucky too. And I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But you know, Max and Moon are very lucky too.
Thank you, man.
And they know what a package they've gotten you.
Thank you, man.
You know, we all do. We all do, man. You're an amazing guy.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things I love about doing Field Day, but meeting you was something really unexpected.
I have to say yes about meeting you as well. Like when just going backstage and seeing you guys at the show at the Viper Room, and then not having seen you ever in real life since I've seen you guys play when I was a kid, when that record was out, when you did those tours, and and just connecting with you guys again, and then having the show in Cali, you guys play with. I don't know, just our friendship and getting to know you, and I love that. I love when I meet somebody that I admired and looked up to, and they're everything I wanted them to be, and they're not let down, because I've met a lot of people in my life that I actually wish I never met, and kept them and just stayed a fan. But you're awesome, and you're exactly what I would hoped you'd be, and so that makes me happy.
You know, I wonder about that. When that happens, when you meet somebody who you had looked up to, and then it doesn't quite, the person isn't quite what you expected.
Yeah.
Does it change how you hear the music?
100%.
Or are you able to yeah?
There's some bands I can't listen to anymore, man, to be honest with you.
Wow.
And I'll never say on my podcast. I tell you when I saw you.
No, of course not. Of course
but I'm
not.
just saying, like,
that
I got to meet, and it really bummed me. It bums me out because I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, it's an interesting thing, because I think that on the one hand, you think about, you want to meet people. You know, you want to express how they made you feel.
My gratitude towards them, yeah.
Sure. I don't know when this happened for me, but at a certain point I thought, if I really like a band, I am not going to read interviews with them. Like, I don't want to know a thing, because I was too worried that it would spoil it.
Yeah.
And probably, you know, in 95% of the cases, I was probably completely wrong about that. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just always had this thing, like, I'm going to read something and I'm going to think, oh man, these guys are assholes. Then it's going to ruin the song.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember watching my wife meet Robert Smith, and my wife didn't want to meet him. She was so nervous. That's her number one. And Moon shook his hand, and he said something. Moon goes, sorry, I don't speak English. Moon was so scared. She said, sorry, I don't speak English. Oh, my God, dude.
That's funny.
She was so nervous because that's like her. She didn't want to meet him, but we were like at Conan O'Brien, and he was there, and Rusty's like, hey, come over. It was this weird moment. And I met him, and he was cool. I'm a big fan, but I didn't bug out on it. But Moon's in love with this guy. But it was just such a cute moment to see her do that, and I heard he's nice anyway. Yeah, I met people. Then I met people that are like, you expect them to be total rock stars, and they're fucking amazing, man. They're like, I met Chris Martin from Coldplay, and I have like 3 Coldplay tattoos, and that's one of my favorite bands. And he I just said, hey, nice. I opened the door for him, my friend's spot. I said, oh man, nice to meet you. I'm a big fan. And I said, I showed him my tattoo, my fingers. Like, oh my God. He goes, should we do a selfie? I'm like, what? And I had no idea who Nick Cave was. I thought it was Rick Ocasek from the Cars. I don't know anything about that music. And I found out later, Nick Cave was standing behind me they're waiting this black SUV. He was standing there waiting for Chris. And Chris looks at me and goes, should we do a selfie, mate? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, shouldn't I give you a hug? And so he gave me a hug, and then he gave me his pin he was wearing. And then he fucking walked away. And it was fucking surreal because he didn't even have to stop for anybody. He asked me if I wanted a photo, and then he asked me if he could give me a hug. Then he gave me his pin. When I tell you, I fucking walked like 3 miles home. I just walked home like I was almost floating, and it sounds so weird, but that guy's music and everything about Coldplay I fucking love. And for him to be that nice to me and take that time, and I met motherfuckers who are nowhere near on that level. They just fucking didn't give me the time of day. You know what I mean? Like it was and I walked home like a fucking weeping little girl. Like I was like skipping home. I couldn't believe it because I just.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was fucking amazing, dude. And that's like that guy was on my bucket list. You know what I mean? Like, and he didn't have to do anything like that to me. And then when I told my friend he was with Nick Cave, like, oh my god, you like I don't know nothing about Nick Cave, but he was there too. But it was just this moment, and then it was this moment because. I don't know. It was bugged out. Max, remember when I met Chris Martin? I was freaking out.
Oh yeah, you called me crying.
Yeah, I called Max. I was so crying. I called Max. I was so emo. Oh my god. Anyway, his music was so impactful to me, you know.
Of course.
But he could have been a total jerk, you know.
He could have been, but boy, I listened to that music, and I would have found it hard to believe if he was, you know.
Gotcha.
It would definitely be disappointing.
Yeah, then I heard. Yeah, then I found out I knew people that worked with him for 10 years. Like, oh my god, he's so positive. He lives in this little positive world, and like he's so nice to everybody. All the work. Like I heard so many amazing things after that. And then once I posted a picture, my friends like, oh, I know him, or this blah blah blah. This guy's one of the realest dudes. Donates all this stuff, and I was like, awesome.
Oh man, that is great.
So that was a great one. There's other ones where I've been like, oh fuck, you know, but it is what it is. You put people, and I made that was my problem as a kid. You put them on this pedestal of how you think they are, and maybe they really aren't, and I don't know, but you know how that works.
Yeah.
Is there anybody
definitely.
You wanted to meet but never got to meet?
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is that with almost anybody, I would be really hesitant to even say anything to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we did the show with you at the locker room,
mm-hmm.
and remember, Fear was playing too.
Oh, that's right.
And so their manager Robert, he knows I'm a huge fan of Fear.
Yeah.
And he comes up to me and he's like, you know, come over. I want you to meet Lee. And I did it, but I was like, wow, this is exactly the thing that like I don't want to do. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, the only thing you can say is just, you know, thank the person.
Totally.
You know, thank you for doing what you were doing. And you know, I got chills. It was just like,
that's
man,
so cool.
I'm here with Lee Ving, and he was totally sweet.
I heard he's super. Yeah, he's super nice.
He was really a sweet guy. But then, like the Sticks, the drummer, who I think is like one of the most amazing drummers in the world, and he was really, really outgoing. He was talking to everybody, and I totally could have had a conversation with him, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to waste this guy's time.
Yeah.
So, you know, those opportunities come up, and it's probably dumb, but I'm just like, no, I feel like I'll be wasting people's time.
Mm-hmm. But you're not, and then on the flip, people might think the way about you if they see you. I want to say something, but I want to bother him. Like I know you don't put yourself in leaving shoes, but to people you are, in that world. So it's like it's hard to see yourself as that. But I'm sure other people are nervous to say hi or have a conversation too. But yeah, man. Yeah, Lee Ving. He looked great too. He looks like a movie star, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, he totally does.
He looks
totally
wonderful.
Does. Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. Well,
yeah.
I think now we talk for another hour. So now your episode's going to be two episodes, which is fine. Part 1 and part 2. And maybe I might just call you tomorrow. We never know what's going to happen during this lockdown.
There you go.
Quarantine.
Yeah, I'll be around.
I'll text you tomorrow and be like,
man.
I got more questions and more things to talk to you about.
Yeah, be like, what other lyrics have you misunderstood completely?
Yes.
For like, 40 years.
So what's the last interview you've done, you think?
Oh. Gosh. I mean, I haven't done... Oh, I was about to say I haven't done any with Field Day, but I did chime in, like, for just a second with one that Doug was doing with somebody in Arizona.
But this is an interview. This is like this is
they
a
were in the
conversation.
van, and I had to. Yeah, but no, I don't think the last time I did any kind of interview was probably with somebody when I was in the Gerunds.
Wow. And this isn't even an interview. This is like two friends just having a conversation. So like I'm trying to think like a recorded interview that was put out with you on it, probably not for like over 25 years at least.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, you won't find anything.
I have the exclusive.
That's right.
All right, man. Well, have a great.
Toby got the scoop.
I have the scoop.
Hey, you too, man. You too. Thank you.
I might talk to you tomorrow. You never know.
Sounds good to me, man. I'll be here.
All right. Have a great night. Thank you, bro.
You too, Toby. Take it easy.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this podcast, please do that. And whatever platform you are listening to this on, I'm glad you found me. You can rate me and review me on there also. So thank you guys sincerely for the support. I cannot wait for you guys to hear the next one.